Hello, my name is Camilo Fique, and today we are learning how to use Wikidata and the SPARQL query as tools to map linguistic territories. We are doing this with toponyms, specifically only human settlements like cities, little towns, villages. Give them a linguistic value and visualize them in a map using the SPARQL query. It's important to say that toponyms represent intangible heritage of humankind, and they are also goods for our cultural and constructed landscapes and our mental cartographies. Let's begin by checking an example of a map that I've done here in Colombia with the following SPARQL query. So the first thing we're gonna do is just press the execute button and scroll down to see the result. So here we see a lot of dots. Each dot represents a toponym, a city or a town, and each toponym has a color. The color represents its linguistic value. So that means that the orange ones are Chibchan languages, the blue ones are Indo-European, or in their majority Spanish. The red ones are Caribans, and so on. So let's open some of these toponyms and see how the information is connected inside Wikipedia. Let's go, for example, here to Zipaquirá. Let's open it. And there are two things that we need to make sure that are connected to each toponym. The first one is here, is in first place. It's instance of, and it's linked to an item called Municipality of Colombia. So let's check another example. It can be Suachoque, and if we scroll down, we see that it also has a municipality of Colombia connection. The last one, let's open the last one, Utica, and it has its municipality of Colombia connection. So the first thing we need to make sure is that in this case, in this Colombian specific case, we need to make sure that each toponym is connected to the municipality of Colombia item. The second thing we need to check that it's connected is the language value. So we scroll down and we see this property, language of work or name. I've added to each toponym this language of work or name property, so it indicates a language of the name we are intended to connect. It's important to notice that this property wasn't created to do specifically this, and there's right now a discussion going on in a proposal of a property that it's about specifically giving a linguistic value to a place name. So we first need to add this property to each item, and after that is done, we add inside this property its linguistic value. In this case, for Utica, we have an Indo-European value, and this is made for every toponym that we want to map. So let's scroll up and see how the query is working. So the first, in row 4, the first thing we are calling is instance of property, and then we are calling everything that has a municipality of Colombia value. And in the second row, in the fifth row, we are asking that to cross the information of every toponym that has municipality of Colombia with its language of work or name value. Next, we are taking this same query, the Colombian example, and changing it a little bit so that we can map another place in the world. And the place we are mapping for this example is Nigeria, and we are the first toponym that we are going to map is its capital, Abuja. So the first thing we need to do is check how Abuja is it's organized in Wikidata. So let's Abuja Wikidata, and here we can see that it of course has an instance of, but in this case there's no municipality of Colombia, of course, because Abuja is not in Colombia, but it has various instances or items inside this instance of property. It's a city, capital city, and a big city. So let's try doing this with the city item. So we see that it's Q515, and so we go back to the query, and we need to change this item, the municipality of Colombia. We are going to change it for 515, that already it's recognized as city. That's the first thing we need to do. Check that the item inside the instance of it's already connected. In this case it's the city city item, and the second one is to check if there's already a language of work property assigned to this item, to Abuja. So we scroll down, official name,
country, location, coordinates, population, and it seems to me that it doesn't have a language of work or name.
So there's no language of work or name statement inside this Abuja item, so we are gonna add a statement. We click and we write in the property section, we write language of work or name, and here is it, we check it. And I did a previous research of the origins of Abuja languages. I found that is housed in the Hausa language, and Hausa language belongs to this Afroasiatic language family. Remember that for this example I am mapping with the linguistic family, not the language, the specific language in which the word is written. So is the Afroasiatic language family that we are using. So we go back to the Abuja item and we search here Afroasia, and here it is Afroasiatic large language family of Africa and West Asia. So we click on it and we just press publish. So at this point, this item, only Abuja item, is ready to be shown in the query. It sometimes takes a while for the system to connect information, so we just wait a few minutes. So we go back to the query. We make sure that it's the right values are assigned, in this case the Q515, and of course the language of work or name. So we hit execute, and we see here, we go directly to Nigeria, and we see that Abuja has this blue dot, being the blue Afroasiatic languages, family language. Here it says that there are already 3 results in this query. That means that 3 items are linked with the city item and the language of work or name value. So let's check them up. So let's check these other 2 results. The first one is here in Argentina, and assigned to a city called San Pedro, and its language value in this case is Spanish. It's not a language family, but it's a language by itself, that it's Spanish, an Indo-European language. It's very important to be sure and have a clear objective of what we want to map, because in this query there are 2 values of languages. The first is a linguistic family for Nigeria, the Afroasiatic, but in this case for San Pedro is the just a language that belongs to a bigger language family. The result here is, and the comparison between the Nigeria Abuja and Argentina's San Pedro, they are not relating in the same category. One in a general linguistic family and the other one in a specific language. I want to recommend the following, that for example in the Nigeria case, there is no specific item that connects, in this case, a city or a toponym to Nigeria itself. Something that it happens in the Colombian case with the municipality of Colombia item. I would recommend to create an item that literally is like saying municipality of Nigeria, but written in the organization or administrative system that Nigeria uses. This to help organize the information that is going to be visualized in the map, and to keep the information always narrowed to Nigeria's territory, not to other places like the San Pedro in Argentina. This Abuja value, the city value, you can imagine that a lot of cities around the world have this value connected. So for the purpose or the objective of mapping only Nigeria, it's important to find an item that directs the query only to Nigeria places, or in this case, city or towns. That's the strategy that I wanted to share with you. Hope you learned something. Linguistic territories are very important, so we can be conscious about the complexity of the linguistic ecosystem that we live in, even though a lot of these linguistic ecosystems have been buried through the years. It's important to remember that toponyms are not only only towns or cities, but are other place names like mountains, parks, rivers, neighborhoods, and the linguistic information, historic, geographical, and linguistic information, is condensed in how we name things and how the things we name evolve through time. Thank you very much.